It is a gorgeous fall morning at my local park. I'm actually at the marina to tell you about my new favorite toy. It's an electric longboard made by Backfire. It's called the Backfire G2 Black. I picked the marina today because it's fall time and all the leaves and the sticks and nuts on the biking trails make for a scarier skateboarding experience. I was never a skater kid growing up. My one memory of being on a board was after church in the parking lot with my friend Isaac. I jumped on his skateboard and it went out from under me into the street and got run over by a car. So that's my one memory of my childhood skating experience. Skating wasn't even on my radar until a few years ago. I was on the beach, and for those of you who haven't seen my kite video, I have a hobby where I fly 2-string kites where you can do loops, and it almost looks like a little parachute, like a parafoil. And I was sitting on the beach watching someone kiteboarding. That's where you have a big kite and it pulls you around on it almost looks like a snowboard kind of that's strapped to your feet, but it's some kind of kiteboarding board. And I was like, oh, that's cool, because the guy was just using a larger version of the kites that I fly, and I'm like, I could do that. That looks like so much fun. So the kiteboarder came out of the water and I cornered him and asked him a bunch of questions. I'm like, what do I have to do to learn how to do this? And I said, I already fly kites. I can understand what you're doing just by watching you. And he said, would you have any board experience? I'm like, no, I didn't want to tell him about the time with my friend Isaac in the parking lot, because that's embarrassing. So I got myself a longboard on Facebook. The one or two major downsides to a regular longboard is it doesn't go up hills very fast. You have to push it, and that, I don't know if I'm just old or what, I don't like to push a skateboard. I like to ride a skateboard. The other problem was it doesn't have brakes. So going down hills, there's been more than a few times where I was going down hills, having a lot of fun, and then all of a sudden I get going too fast and I freak out and I bail and I just like jump off into the grass. So I looked into an electric longboard. I could not be happier with the Backfire G2 Black. Backfire has a wide range of different models. This is one of the cheaper ones, and like I paid, I think $379 for this. I'm having so much fun on this that I can't imagine why you would ever have a $1,500 skateboard. Like, how much better could they possibly be? I have battery range enough to drive this down to the local park with the trails that I'm not going on because of the leaves right now, and then back up the hills to my house, and I still have a quarter battery left after just like having the most fun. Not even just a little, the most fun is what I have on this. So I am just so impressed. I'm going to show you some footage of the skateboard at the marina with the beautiful fall air and probably a chainsaw sound in the background a little bit, so I apologize for that. This remote is so simple. There is a sport eco button where I used the economy function for like the first 15 minutes. The first time I went out, I was like, I am going to take this conservative. We're gonna go easy, I'm gonna go slow, I'm gonna be safe. But it was so much fun, and I felt like I was in such control of the board that I went to sport mode, like, I think within 10 minutes. And man, is it fast. And I'll just repeat what I said earlier, like, if this one's that fast, I can't imagine how much the one that's like over $1,000, like how fast it goes. All right, this is how simple it is. It straps to your wrist, put your finger in there, the wheel up top, look, there goes the board, pull back to brake. All right, there is reverse, you flick this little switch. I don't know why you'd ever use it, but we'll bring it back. There we go. That switch is such that you can't switch it really while you're going, which is a good thing, because that would be scary. The one time in the beginning I had a little oopsie daisies when I was still in economy mode, where I was coming around a corner at the park and there's a lady with a dog, and I accidentally hit the gas instead of the brake. Went into the grass. That hasn't happened since. It's so intuitive. Once you get used to it, you're good to go. at first I was worried that like I would look around, look behind me at a car, see who was coming, and then lose my balance. But it's so solid that it's not an issue. I feel like I'm in control. Like I said, I have brakes, and that's wild. After riding a regular longboard for so long with just hoping for the best. And the cool thing is, as you brake, the batteries recharge a little bit. I think it's called regenerative braking. I guess the cool thing about doing this by the water and not on the water, like a kiteboarder, I don't have to worry about drowning or sharks. It does hurt a little bit more when you fall off, and I have fallen off. The board comes with knee pads, elbow pads, and wrist guard. I bought the helmet on Amazon separately. I tell you what, I will not board without them. I was actually here at the park on the trails, and I wasn't paying close enough attention, and I hit a crack that was too big. And when I'm saying too big, I mean, you don't have to worry about going over normal cracks. This one was, it had to have been 3 inches wide and the same deep, maybe 2 inches deep. And I saw it at the last minute. I was talking to my son, he was riding bike. I saw it at the last minute, and I hit the brakes, which was the worst thing that could have happened. And wow, I gotta say, I mean, if you look at my pads, see how scratched up they are? It's not just that it makes them rigid so your wrists don't flex, it's that it allows you to slide if you hit the ground. Instead of putting both hands down and just going doo and just absorbing all that impact, if it stops, it allows you to slide a little bit. And if I hadn't had wrist guards on, I think I would have broken both of my arms. And I am a musician for my job, and that would have been devastating. And just regular people, I mean, can you imagine having 2 broken wrists at once? That would be pretty horrible. I mean, that's about as bad as it gets. My kids were like, "Dad, are you okay?" And I was not okay. Nothing was broken or torn, but my shoulder is just now, like after a month, starting to feel better, like all the way better. And for a couple days I felt like I got hit by a car or something. It was pretty bad. So always wear your protective stuff. The helmet actually looks pretty cool. It's not too dorky. So after that one experience, I will never go without them. So anyway, I got the board for my birthday, and it's probably one of the birthday presents that I've had the most fun with and actually used. Pretty awesome. Just a few final words. I am not sponsored by Backfire. I'm not an affiliate. I don't have links. I just love this board. I hope that the video conveys how fun it is. After I turned off the camera, I just buzzed around and had some fun. I also fell off. One thing I would say, stay away from water. What happened was I went down by the boat ramp, and somebody had pulled out and drug a bunch of water out with them, so the blacktop was wet, and my wheels, I could feel them start to fishtail a little bit, and it was going around a corner, so I wiped out. I'm okay. Again, I had my protective gear on. I can't stress enough how important that is. Keep helmet on, wrist guards. What do we need an elbow? But dude, I just slid across the ground, my hip's gonna hurt a little bit because like I kind of landed there a little bit. But in fact, I might have a raspberry. Let's check. Ooh, yikes. That's gonna sting a little bit. I guess I should get some butt pads. Anyway, peace out. Have a great weekend. Enjoy the fall weather, and find some water to look at.